therefore, I should be able to provide that formula once again.
2,300 CS. You can come up with whatever formula you have. It's not acceptable by the farmers in North Rift.
CS Kiunjuri now presents a list of fake maize farmers as the real ones reject new prices. 15 exam officials arraigned in a court in Kisii over irregularities as candidates sit exams on day 2 of KCSE.
Governor, tunasema new standard ambayo imetengenezwa na Kenya Bureau of Standards ambayo bado effective date hatujajua, itakuwa ina relay information online.
Plus, the National Transport and Safety Authority maintains that the new PSV traffic laws will be enforced. And shock and disbelief as a policeman based in Joro shoots dead his young wife before turning the gun on himself. Welcome to the broadcast. Let's begin here in Nairobi. Tonight, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has asked the Strategic Food Reserve Trust Fund to withhold payments for some 62 persons and entities with what it calls questionable maize deliveries for last year's crop. Now, the ACC says the named individuals and companies are of interest in its investigations to unravel the maize scandal at the National Cereals and Produce Board. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri told Parliament that the government will not pay claims amounting to some 3 billion shillings before getting clearance from the EACC. KTN's Patrick Amimo begins our broadcast tonight.
Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri tabled before the National Assembly Committee on Agriculture the list of 62 persons and entities whom the Anti-Corruption Commission is investigating over questionable maize deliveries. The probe targets 9 NCPB Depot, Eldoret, Kitale, Kisumu, Ziwa, Tarbo, Bungoma, Narok, Nakuru and Moy's Bridge, where individual maize farmers and companies are claiming to be paid over 3 billion shillings for maize delivered between October 2017 and April 2018. Celestine Chepchirchir is claiming 385.7 million shillings, Stephen Mayo 255 million, Caroline Chepchumba 223 million. New Progressive Farmers Cooperative Society is claiming 109 million shillings, Paul Marus 120.7 million shillings, Victoria Rotich 104 million, Simon Changwonyi 101.7 million shillings. 6 individuals are claiming between 90 and 50 million shillings. They include Alice Gidaiga 89.6 million, Shem Maina Idhangu 66.7 million, Bernard Mwangi Kimani 59.9 million shillings, Julius Kipkemboi 52 million, Zakaria Ndongo 51.1 million, and Oldonyo Nairasha Estate 50.6 million.
74 had issues on the amount of maize they supplied, and 152 were supposed to be scrutinized on whether they were really farmers or traders.
John Tanui Kosgei is claiming 49.3 million shillings, Devin Derito Gasau 44 million, Daniel Ngetich 39.7 million, Anthony Chebi 37.7 million, Joseph Biwot 36.8 million, Jacinta Mboro 36.5 million, and Pius Kiplimo Kandie 34.6 million.
Of the 226, EACC has only written to us that they have only interest with 62. Meaning, we are now, with that letter, which I'm going to table, we can now pay all other farmers apart from 62.
Okay. Some entities that have lodged claims include Sosiani FCS, 28.4 million, Ndovu Estate, 28.3 million, and Koilel Farm Limited, 20.8 million shillings. Kiunjuri says 1.2 million bags of maize in NCPB stores is discolored, while another 700,000 bags have been damaged by weevils. Besides, 240,000 bags of maize imported from Mexico last year is contaminated with aflatoxin and will be destroyed. This means the taxpayer stands to lose 3 billion shillings for maize purchased last year, which is damaged and unfit for human consumption.
I want to find out whether the 240,000 bags is paid for.
Now that is in our possession, it can be treated as good as having been paid for.
Kiunjuri will appear before the committee Thursday to furnish it with more details on the quality of maize. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
At the same time, farmers from the North Rift have rejected the new prices of maize. As announced by the government on Monday, the Strategic Food Reserve Trust Fund announced it will be buying maize being harvested now by farmers at 2,300 shillings per 90-kilogram bag, down from 3,200 shillings last season. The move is now setting the stage for more conflict with maize farmers, some of whom are still smarting from losses made in last year's harvest. Let's get more from KTN's Elvis Koskei.
A visit to Eunice Rono's farm at Moiben constituency in Uasin Gishu County clearly reveals some of the hurdles that many maize farmers face in Kenya. Following heavy rains experienced recently, which was made worse by the high cost of farm inputs, the new maize prices pegged at 2,300 shillings are making life more unbearable to maize farmers.
Kupiga haro, mbolea, kuweka dawa, na hiyo kuspray vitu mingi, mpaka kufuna saa hii, hiyo bei iko chini sana. Tunaomba serikali yetu hii watuongezee hiyo bei kabisa. At least ifike 3,000.
Vitu vingine ambavyo vinakuwa bei kali sana kama maji imewekwa kwa packet ni bei kali, pombe imewekwa kwa chupa ni bei kali, na watoto hawatumii pombe, wagonjwa hawatumii pombe. Sasa hii mahindi ni ya kila mtu.
According to Eunice Rono, the new prices by the government are a big letdown and a joke to farmers' efforts who incurred huge costs.
Sasa hata wenye watabeba watataka pesa, wenye watapanga kwa store, wenye wataanika dawa ya kuweka kila kitu.
This came even as the governors from the North Rift Economic Bloc called for an upward review of the prices.
And therefore, this price of 2,300, I want to say me and Governor Kayemba are not part of it. And since we are in the task force, we are going to contest that and ask them that they improve the price.
We are giving the next 14 days to the Strategic Food Reserve, the National Cereals and Produce Board, the Ministry of Agriculture, to come together and agree that the priority of the farmer is well considered.
Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri was on Tuesday at pains, explaining the rationale for the new maize prices.
By last week it was 2,100 and now to 2,300. And therefore I should be able to provide that formula once again.
2,300 Bwana CS. You can come up with whatever formula you have. It's not acceptable by the farmers in North Rift.
Section of farmers in the North Rift region are opposed to the new price that was issued on Monday by Strategic Grain and Food Reserve. They now want President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Ministry of Agriculture to intervene. Elvis Kosgei, KTN News, Uasin Gishu County.
We are keeping an eye on that maize story, a developing story for you now. Away from that, 15 people, including examination supervisors and invigilators, were arrested early today and arraigned in court over examination irregularities at Monianku Secondary School in the county of Kisii. The suspects are accused of tampering with the ongoing KCSE exams. Kisii resident magistrate Margaret Nafula ordered that the suspects be remanded until November 12th. KTN's Mary Mwoki paints for us a picture of day 2 of the national examinations.
The 15 accused persons appeared before resident magistrate Margaret Nafula at the Kisii Law Courts earlier Tuesday as KCSE entered day 2. The suspects faced 2 charges, being in possession of examination materials and aiding and abetting crime contrary to the Kenya National Examination Council Act. The magistrate ordered that the accused be remanded at Nyamarambe Police Station until November 12th when the case will be mentioned. Meanwhile, as the Ministry of Education grapples with the challenge of ensuring irregularity-free examinations, a school in Uasin Gishu County has employed the use of technology as a way of curbing cheating. Moi Kapsowar Girls has installed CCTV cameras that will be closely monitored during the examination period. The school's principal, Ellen Nyabuto, says the institution is dedicated to guaranteeing the integrity of the exams. And here in Nairobi, the examinations body chairman, Professor George Magoha, has warned against cheating in the examinations. Magoha sounded the warning while at Compete Educational Center in Nairobi's Eastleigh Estate, where he went to supervise the ongoing examinations.
There is only one problem that NEC and government are worried about. Of course, now we don't talk about leakage. It is early exposure, and how it is done we are aware. We are aware that where the people are planning. They plan to smuggle at least one paper out, photocopy it, and send it to a supposed command center where teachers answer the questions and bring back to the students.
Magoha has cautioned examination center managers against engaging in malpractices, saying that those caught will pay a high price for it. Mary Mwoki, KTN News.
Tonight, the National Transport and Safety Authority says there is no turning back on the November 12th implementation of the NTSA and Traffic Act regulations for public service vehicles. NTSA Director General Francis Major says operators will not comply with the requirements by Monday next week should keep off the roads or risk having their licenses suspended. Our Rita Tinina now reports.
Even before the November 12th effective date for the implementation of the public service vehicle requirements, traffic police have been conducting a crackdown on PSVs. At a meeting with officials of PSV SACCOs, the National Transport and Safety Authority says there is no turning back.
We gari lako kama haitakuwa fulfill zile requirements za sheria, tafadhali tunaomba usikue kwa barabara.
PSVs will be required, among other things, to be fitted with speed governors and seatbelts, vehicles, or to have a yellow continuous line, while drivers and conductors will be required to wear uniforms and display badges. Requirements that are not new to the industry. They were first introduced by former Transport Minister, the late John Mishuki, in the year 2003.